Hi everyone, welcome to the channel for the conclusion video of my series of video about ETC 2024 in Cracow with Team Switzerland. You don't see my image on the below right of the picture as usually because I just had a nose operation from about 2 weeks ago. Feeling better, but I still have some protective stuff on my nose, so not looking great, still not looking great. So definitely you should see me back in a couple of days, but I'm still able to continue to record some videos, so I want to move forward because after that I have a couple of battle reports in version 3.0 already, and I want to show you what 3.0 is about for those of you who maybe haven't tried yet, who still have played a couple of games but maybe not that much. Maybe you can learn a bit more from my games, and I might also be able to learn a bit more from your comments regarding my games, what I might have done wrong. So looking forward to show you that. Result of ETC, you see it here. So Team Spain won it, congrats to them, amazing performance. They beat new team in the qualification, they reached their first ETC as Team Spain, and they won it. So amazing performance from Team Spain. Then second we have Germany, really close, as you can see it was really close podium. Germany 3 points behind and 2 points behind France. So congrats to those teams. I mean, they made an amazing tournament, and I think it's a very logical podium. If we consider what happened during this ETC, I think that's the 3 best team that won the spot 1, 2 and 3. So really happy about that. I could also say that the top 6 in my opinion make a lot of sense, and I think also in this order I would say we had obviously some strong result one way or the other. For example, us losing, being capped by Italy, but we had also some other caps between the top 6 teams. So we had a couple of results that were maybe surprising, where we would have expected like top teams being really close to each other. But at the end, we had really like a team being very strong against another one, and maybe weak against another one. So it's also a question about the meta and our secondary objective you're playing on. Spain, they won 5 games. They drew against us, so we were able to draw them 1 time. But they made really a very, very good performance here. We ended up being 6, obviously disappointing. It's for us a little bit the same scenario as last year. I think overall decent result, but we just came short. We lost a point here and there, and at the end it cost us in the table. But overall, I think a solid tournament. I also put some stars the team we played. So we played Spain number 1, we played Italy, who won last year, ended up 4th. Then Ukraine just behind us, also very solid team. USA 11th place, then Austria 14, and Finland just above the middle. So that were our 5 rounds. I also put on the right the individual score. It was Furon who ended up with 108 points. Amazing result. Also congrats to Lapamat, amazing result. All those guys reaching 6 wins, very impressive. All names that we know. I mean, Furon, Lapamat, Krub, McRae, Frederick, that's all very good players. So congrats to them for this amazing result. Very good and well-known, very established player, I think here. And on the top right, I added an analysis just for my team. I think always interesting to see what were the expected results that we had after the pairing, so we can see the people we were able to place a bit better, like Paul, for example, how many points were then reached in comparison to the expected points. I think always interesting to follow that delta. And as we can see, we have a lot of people close to the 60, so we were not able to create that much positive matchup, I would say. And then we have slightly negative, but we can see not much variance around the expected score, so we were not really able to place multiple player around really very good matchups. So that, I think, was one of our issues. Maybe we in our meta, I think we can learn something from that we had some difficult matrix, for example the one against Italy. And then expected the result, we had Xavier and Coco reaching our best result with very good amount of points and a good delta as well from their expected results. So very good performance from them. myself a bit disappointed, a bit below than average. Yeah, I was disappointed. Obviously, game number 1 cost me a lot, because when you get a 0, you start to play after this game, so you have like one game less. So I think the score is obviously impacted by this 0 in game number 1, but definitely not my best showing, and we will go more into detail right now. So yeah, you know my army list already, I think. And here you see, as I usually do, my unit impact analysis. So you have in the middle all the detail, on the top the result against the teams, then my personal result, and then on the bottom part of the table you have the secondary estimation and performance feeling. So I think maybe go through the unit first. We'll start with the character. I think I was really happy about the setup. My magic provided me everything I needed. Being alchemy attribute for combat, and then good range damage from occultism, so really happy about that. The BSB was cheap and just provided what I needed. In the blunderbuss block, which was some extra combat res, then I had the Overlord, who was flexible, unchaffable countercharger, had some good game on game 3 and 6, so was an important piece in the list, definitely. My core setup as well, nothing to say about it. I really got what I expected from it, so happy about that. And I think then we come to the section and special and monsters, where I was a bit disappointed. I think the Lugas, I'm still happy to have chosen them in the list, because I think the role they have in the list is quite important as a scoring unit, and bringing some high strength flaming attack to the list was quite important, but I wasn't really able to take advantage from them. I think they fluffed in their most important game on game number 3, and then they suffered from shooting in some games. So not so great for them, not a good showing. I expected a bit more, definitely. But I think they were still a very good choice in Infernal Dwarfs list this year. Then we have the Anointed. They had 2 9 non-rollable panic check, and both time they failed and fled off the board, so that was very frustrating. Shouldn't have failed that so often. Obviously sensitive to panic, a mixed result in combat. They fluffed as well game number 3, and then they performed really well on the Cracow on game number 6. So I think they are still a decent unit, not that cheap, but still bringing strength 7 to the list, quite solid defensive stat as well. I think they are not rolling a lot of dice, which means you are. It can happen that you fluffs when you're not rolling that many dice, and definitely discipline was an issue for them. The fact that I had to check sometimes 9 non-rollable was an issue, because they are often playing out of the bubble, so that was definitely a problem for them. Then with Incarnate, I think maneuverability is obviously an issue with them without the musician, but they were definitely very solid. I liked what they bring to the list. They charge far away, they are quite solid, supernal, good amount of wounds, so very happy about them. Even I didn't achieve as much as I wanted with them. I feel they are important. And then we finish with the Giant. I think it's the most debatable choice. It was like a last minute addition to get something flexible to maneuver on the weak flank. Obviously it's an annoying piece, forced the opponent to look at it, but still didn't do much with him. Didn't get any key combat. I don't know if it was the best choice instead of something else. So that, I think that would be the point where I would be unsure about in the list, but the rest I think I was quite happy about the design of the list, and I know why I didn't pick this list. It's just the amount of training have helped me test a lot of stuff and come to the conclusion of making those choices. So I think I knew why I did that, but not everything expected as I wanted. Second objective, I think worth mentioning that I lost 3 out of 6, which is not usual for me. If you follow my battle reports often, it's often something I try to pay attention to. I think game number 1, nothing to say. I just misestimate the matchup, which is definitely more like a 5. It's not a match I should have taken, and then I didn't play well at all. I think it was a very bad performance. So it just made sense that it come to the 0 for a lot of reason, and I think I've talked a lot about that. But definitely my worst performance of the tournament. Then game number 2, not happy about the macro. I think definitely due to lack of confidence, I didn't follow my first instinct, which would have given me more chances to try to win the spoil. Here you saw I had multiple occasions to make him test to draw the spoil, so I think I wasn't far to win the spoil and reach my estimation, but overall due to my bad macro I came up with a result of 7, which makes sense at the end because my opponent just played better than me. Game number 3, I think I played well and I deserve more. I think the key combat when I countercharge with everything should have been auto break and then let me drive towards a bigger victory, which I didn't achieve, but overall I think I made the right choices, so definitely okay about that. And yeah, wasn't able to really play for the win of the secondary due to the way it was placed and the fact that I didn't make him break from combat turn 3, which would have allowed me potentially to go for it. Then we have game number 4. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy matchup. Yeah, it was, I think, auto win on the secondary. Nothing he could really do, so it was an easy game for me. Was my best matchup, definitely. Then we have the game against Ukraine, who was very dicey. I think I've made a good macro. Obviously, it was a bad matchup because very dangerous for me due to the trebuchet that didn't hit that much early on, and I was able to neutralize one of them quite quickly. So definitely not an easy matchup where I was happy to bring point because, as you can see, it was a close result. It was some important points to bring us to the 90, which was quite important. And then the last one, I think, was overall maybe the most complicated game in terms of tactical. Yeah, game number 1 was obviously complicated, but more due to the matchup. In this one, it was really a tactical battle that was really entertaining. I could have won it as well. I think the estimation of 10 is totally okay. I played a good game, made some small mistake, he did as well, and at the end it was decided by a couple of dice whether or not I could at least draw or maybe even win all the targets. So I think here I made a good showing. So I would say overall between game 3 and 6, quite happy the way I played. I think obviously still improvement are always possible in this game, but I think I played to the level I expected this game 3 to 6. I would say it like that. And then day 1, yeah, definitely very disappointed. I think game number 1 definitely overconfidence, not knowing the matchup really well, failing the macro, realizing too late that it was actually very complicated and not picking the right macro. And basically ended up towards the 0. That was definitely, I ticked all the box to drive to a 20-0, so that just made sense. And then he had the bit of dice to make it quick, basically. And then game 2, like I said, disappointed by my macro because I knew how to play it better. So I think that's why. But this definitely shows me that yeah, I think also on game number 2, preparation was a problem. Definitely, I was not well prepared enough against his list. I didn't understand all the tricks, was a bit surprised by some stuff, and shouldn't be the case in this type of game. So I think here preparation was a problem. Game number 1, preparation is obviously an issue because I should have understood better the list. So I think here definitely we see room for improvement, but we also see a lot of reason why this happened. And I think it's very important. There is nothing worse, and that's something I'm saying quite often, there is nothing worse than losing 0 to 20 and not understanding why. I think that's the worst that can happen to you. It's very important that you get why. It's not down to the dice. It's very often down to a bad macro, to maybe if it's a team tournament, it might be a problem of estimation. So it's very key to understand why you did lose when you lose heavily. Time analysis, also something I wanted to do. Obviously I didn't get all the turn, but you see in green is the game that I was able to finish. The game in red I wasn't able to finish. I think overall shows me that I always play rather close or less than my opponent. So I think here game 1, 2 and 4, not a lot to mention because we finished all those 3 games. So I think there is not much to analyze. As I see, my normal turn when I finish game should be between 15 and 20 minutes, should be most of my turn, I would say. And then if it's a more fighty turn, it might be a bit more, but shouldn't be more than 25, I think. Then if it's more than 25, it's because you have a lot of fight. Then we have game number 4. Yeah, we both played some long turn, we had some judge, we had a lot of combat, so it was one of those games where a lot of discussion and combat, which makes it really hard to finish. But as you can see, we both played equal times, which means conclusion is we both are responsible for not finishing it. So here I think there is nobody that can really argue and say, oh, you played too slow, we played similar time. So nothing really to say except that it was a complicated game, a lot of action, technical game, and there are multiple reasons why we didn't finish, but we could also have probably played a bit faster to try to reach a bit more turn. Then game 5, yeah, I think I've talked about this game. It was obviously not nice to not being able to agree on the turn. I still believe that the idea of this game is try to play as many turns as possible within the time that you have. So if you have time to play, you should play as much as possible, but at the same time it's very important to agree on time. And like I said, apologies to my opponent if he hear to the video, listen to the video, but basically yeah, I should have keep to I think it's very important to have a look at the time when you try to agree on something, and just agree first on something and try to stick to it and not change afterwards. I think that's the most sense. And obviously in this type of situation, when you're discussing with somebody about number of turn, obviously the one that plays less than the other one can have sometimes a stronger voice. That's something also quite important to track and compare. And when you have this kind of discussion, it's important to make sure that you're trying to play faster. So here I don't know why, obviously I don't know why I played 25 minutes for turn 2 and 3, which not much happened actually. So I don't know really why I took this much time. I would have expected myself to play a bit faster than that, but I don't know why, definitely. And then we have game number 6 against Spain. Definitely here a bit of a gap, 21 minute plus for Gondi's elbow, so definitely quite a lot. Yeah, surprised me when I saw the time, because towards the end he was telling me to play faster at turn number 5, and when I see that I was like, okay, actually he was the one playing a bit slower than me. Yeah, I should have, I think, tracked, I have kept track of it, but I should have been able to maybe react. But as you can see, it's the later stage that took a bit of time, and then it's hard to react. I think it's much easier when you have a turn 1 of, I don't know, like 30 minutes, then you should react immediately. But when you have normal time, it's hard. Then when it's the time to react, it might be too late, because when it's like turn 4, then you don't have much time to play the rest, basically. So one late turn being a bit longer might be a problem than to play another turn, basically. But as always, very interesting to keep track of the time. I think, yeah, I think it's good to do it, to just write down on your sheet and have a look at how long are your turn. Then you're able to react in-game. I prefer this approach instead of the chess clock, personally, because I think it's less stressful and makes it a better atmosphere, and you still have the opportunity to react if you're not okay with the time, how it goes. Okay guys, conclusion. So what's coming up next on the channel? We have, but before I talk about that, after I finish this couple of points, I will leave you with the gallery of pictures that I took during UTC, and also the visit of Cracow. You will see some funny pictures and some in-game picture, and also some visits. So yeah, I think it's always cool to see a bit the experience outside also of ETC. I also publish a couple of shorts if you want to have some other videos. I publish them on my French-speaking channel. Might be also something you want to have a look at. Anyway, what's coming up next on the channel? So version 3.0, I started to play a couple of games. I made several coverage video in French on the other channel, obviously. I'm playing, yeah, I think it's very important to be patient. I see a lot of reaction of people being like, okay, it's not balanced, blah, blah, blah. Guys, I mean, it's new. They told us there is an adjustment period until the end of 2024. I think we will come towards a better game towards the end of 2024. So let's be patient. Let's respect the job done by those guys. There are people who have been investing a lot of time into this. So I think that the least we can do as player is just to respect that, follow the process, and try to give constructive feedbacks. So you can use, there are some form that you can fill to give feedback. I think in a structure that these are bringing like structured feedback to the 9th age, and they are very helpful to improve. You can also post a message on the forum, but these are more complicated to incorporate in the balancing process, obviously. So I think you should use both. Then in September, I have a huge event this month. So end of the month, more than 300 player, biggest 9th age event in the world. Will be amazing. And obviously there will be battle report. Online tournaments, we'll try to do some between October and beginning of the year. And then January will be the next big event for me, Belum Lacum. The first one, obviously, after the end of the adjustment period. So will be interesting. There will be some international opposition. It's in Louvain in France, close to Geneva, so it's reachable by airport in case you are willing to travel and you have some question, you can always contact me on Discord. We will be expecting some team from Italy, some team from, obviously a lot of team from France and Switzerland, and then maybe some Belgium and Luxembourg team as well, at least. Would be obviously very happy also to get some team coming from further away. It's a great event, team of 4, strongly recommend it. It's my club that organizes it, a very good atmosphere, and yeah, I think a cool venue, good teams, so a good occasion to compete and have a good time together. That's all, guys. That's all for this conclusion video. Thanks a lot for watching it. Thanks a lot for watching the battle reports. And looking forward to show you very soon first version 3.0 battle report. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. And I leave you with the gallery and some music. Enjoy.
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world on the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.